How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ben Burnside Show, coming at you from Fresno. I am here for some breaking news. I believe this was as of a couple hours ago. Um, so I don't know if it's breaking news anymore, but it's big news. Per the Hill newspaper, by the writer's name is Jordan Carney or Jordan Carney. Sorry if I mispronounce your name, Jordan. Congress clinches sweeping deal on coronavirus relief and government funding, which was kind of expected within the last couple days, from what I've seen on the Hill, particularly with that talk show Rising, which I'm a big fan of. Everybody should watch that show. With if you want good news and non-biased news. Let's look at the what this article has to say. I'm not going to read all of it, but let's look at some of the key points here. Congressional leaders on Sunday reached a mammoth deal to fund the government and provide a long-sought coronavirus relief as lawmakers race to wrap up their work for the year. Yeah, long sought, all right. Like 8 fucking months. The deal will tie a $1.4 trillion bill to fund the government until October 1st to roughly $900 billion in coronavirus aid. What's the other 1.4 billion? Or like, what's the one? What's the other money for? In order to give Congress time to process and finalize the agreement, it is expected to pass a one-day stopgap bill, with the House to take up the agreement on Monday. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell announced the deal from the Senate floor on Sunday night. Let's see here. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi put out a joint statement as well, confirming the deal. Let's see. That basically they both put out statements. I'm not going to read them. You go ahead and look at the article. The coronavirus deal hashed out by the top four congressional leaders doesn't include more money directly for state and local governments or protection against coronavirus-related lawsuits. I don't get that part, which is a top priority for Democrats and McConnell, respectively. It does include another round of small business aid through the Paycheck Protection Program. I don't know a whole lot about that, but that's been chirped about a lot throughout this whole process. It also includes a $300 per week unemployment benefit for 11 weeks, a pared down $600 second round of stimulus checks, way too little, and more money for things such as schools, coronavirus testing, and vaccine distribution. This is bullshit. This bill. It's not. It's something, but we really should have gotten like way more than that overall. This is nothing compared to like the relief we got way long ago in April with the HEROES Act or the relief, the very first bill of relief before that. So, which was unanimously passed. McConnell, during his floor speech, noted that they were still finalizing text. The agreement came together after Schumer and Senator Pat Toomey, who's a Republican from Pennsylvania, struck a deal late Saturday night on the final big hold, which was federal emergency lending facilities. I don't know. Why don't you give money to them, because they're kind of struggling too, especially hospitals. Let's see. Look. I get the mentality. I appreciate the mentality of reserving money, but not during a pandemic. Okay, that's not the right time. Clearly, it's not the right time, especially when people can't fucking work. Congress. Let's see. Congress hasn't passed coronavirus relief since April, which really, when you look at this, if you're getting $600 in this thing, it's like less than $100 a month for the last 8 months that Americans have gotten. It's nothing. It's nothing for the American people when you really think of the big picture. Even as cases they haven't passed coronavirus relief since April, even as cases have surged. Hospitals are warning they could be overwhelmed, and cities and states are reinstating lockdown measures to try to curb the spread heading into the holidays. Even as they announced a deal, McConnell and Schumer took shots at each other for who was to blame for the months-long delay in coronavirus relief. And to not spoil that question, well, I'm going to spoil it right now. Both of them are to blame, but especially McConnell. The agreement on this package can be summed up by the expression better late than never, although I know many of my Republican colleagues wished it was never. This is according to Chuck Schumer. I don't know, you didn't talk a whole lot about it, Chuck. You didn't talk about it a whole lot on your fucking Facebook, which I always see you criticizing Donald Trump and not talking about the coronavirus stimulus package. So you're not the one that's just, you don't get off scot-free, Chuck. McConnell, during his remarks, and McConnell's the worst offender, in my opinion, of all of this, besides maybe Donald Trump, who could have pressured McConnell. Donald Trump's probably the worst of all of this, but McConnell's right there with him, and so is Pelosi. McConnell, during his remarks, said, "From where I stand, from where Senate Republicans stand, there's no reason why this urgent package could not have been signed into law multiple months ago." The nerve of him to say that. The nerve of him to say that, since he was the one that didn't want to sign it, is unreal. Unreal what people can get away with in that town of Washington. Is there anything else I wanted to state on here? So there was basically a lot of delays heading into this being made to avoid a government shutdown. They're going to delay it quite a bit so the bill can go to Donald Trump's desk and he can sign it. Donald Trump, it was reported earlier this week that he was cool with just signing $2,000 stimulus checks for Americans, but his own fucking greedy aides talked him out of it. So these cabinet members are a big deal to presidents. I've learned that a lot this year in 2020, and they're going to be also a big deal in the Biden administration, which is why we really should pay attention to who he's getting, which I don't really understand some of his picks. Let's see. Anything else? No, not really. So basically, they're about to pass it, but the major talks seem to be over, and it's all just about the formality stuff. That's what it seems like in this article. But this should have been passed 8 months ago. Should have been passed 8 months ago, and they haven't done nothing. They haven't done anything. They're cool with Americans. And look, I'm okay. I'm fine. Relatively, I feel like I'm safe in terms of financial stuff. But other people, they're not. There's a lot of people out there that are really struggling, out there, that need that help, and they haven't done anything for the last 8 months. The representative who represents me in Congress, Devin Nunes, he's done less than even that. He said no to the HEROES Act in April. Who says no to that bill? Who the hell would do that? My representative, that's who. That's who would say no. So I don't know. It's just, I don't even care. I didn't care about politics a whole lot until you just hear this news story after news story about what these people, how negligent these people are to their own people. And these people are our main public servants in the government. And they are doing nothing to help us. They are doing nothing. They only look out for themselves. They're self-servants. They come off as that, at least. It's unreal. It's unreal that I have to see this before my own eyes. Except where Congress people, they don't even want to help American people like me. Or American people that are in much worse shape than me. Much worse shape. They just refuse to help them. Except for a few. And I want to mention them right now. A few. Bernie Sanders, who kind of led these talks, Got to give him ginormous credit. And I wish I was a Bernie Sanders fan well into the year. Because I got to be honest, I did vote for Joe Biden, and that's when I didn't know nothing about politics. I just assumed that he would be better than Donald Trump, just like how a lot of people are. But I realized very quickly that I made the wrong choice, and now I feel like I'm regretting it now. And this is a big reason why. Bernie Sanders was one of the main talkers for us, for people to get, for Americans to get any kind of stimulus, period, because we were going to get nothing heading into Christmas. But Bernie Sanders and another congressperson named Josh Hawley, who should get big credit, both of them basically said, we are going to hold this thing up so you guys can't go on vacation for Christmas before to where this needs to get passed. This needs to get passed so you guys can go on your holiday vacations. And I got to appreciate that, man. I appreciate that big time. We didn't get everything we want, but, you know, we got something. And I really appreciate Bernie for that. I wish Bernie was a little bit younger. I would vote for him for president very quickly. But he's doing a good job with where he's at still. And I'm going to be a big supporter of him going forward, because he was really, him and Josh Hawley, and the other one is a new representative who I hope goes far in Washington, Ro Khanna. If he's on the same track record of criticizing Nancy Pelosi as Ro Khanna, if he does the same things to where he helps the American people, I hope I will be a big supporter of Ro Khanna as well going forward. Those are the big three. Those are the big three who I feel like have done anything in terms of negotiations in Congress. The other figure is a person that's outside of this congressional bubble, and that's former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang was complaining a lot about it on the media, in the media. I think he complained about it on CNN, and he was urging Nancy Pelosi to pass stimulus, which she didn't do. You know, she finally did now, but goddamn, you know, talk about these leaders, these congressional leaders, they don't care about us. They legitimately don't care, and we're seeing it in real time. This is not a conspiracy. We are legitimately observing it before our very eyes. They were willing to give us $0 and 0 cents of any stimulus, of any relief during a pandemic. It's unreal. It is unreal. It's hard to even fathom how they are just unwilling to help us. And they are the ones who want to be our public servants. Do they want to be our public servants? I don't know. I really don't know. It's unreal. And yeah, I want to give big props to Bernie Sanders, Josh Hawley, and Ro Khanna for really saying anything about passing a stimulus. And Andrew Yang, who's outside, apparently he was lobbying for stimulus to be passed, according to from something I heard on the news. I hope he does good as as the next mayor of New York, which I'm hearing about. He's entering into that realm of politics. So in New York. So best of luck to him. I kind of wish he was the president. If Bernie can't be the president, I wouldn't mind. I'm open to an Andrew Yang presidency. I'd like to see more of his policies, but I'm open to him as well. But these are the details that we're hearing about with the relief package right now. I'm sure I'm going to talk about this a lot more in the next couple days in terms of its passing. But I'm going to say it right here and now. The only 3 people that I still want in Congress, everyone else can leave. Everyone else can be thrown out as far as I'm concerned. They're a waste of time. Is Bernie Sanders, Josh Hawley, Ro Khanna. That's it. That's all I'm cool with. I haven't heard anybody else talk about it, so about passing stimulus. So, yeah. Again, not what we're looking for with this stimulus for some things, but it's better than absolutely nothing. So credit to those three Congress people that I mentioned. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. And yeah, definitely appreciate it. Hey guys, also wanted to provide some additional news about this package that I just got off of from Deadline. The writer of this article, his name is Ted Johnson, just TED Ted Johnson. The article from Deadline is Lawmakers Reach Deal on COVID-19 Relief that includes $15 billion for movie theaters and live venues. So, from an entertainment aspect, I have information here um, per this article. Um, and it's stated that this stimulus package of 900 billion allocates 15 billion of that for theaters and other cultural institutions, following months in which artists and the entertainment industry trade groups expressed urgency for some kind of targeted relief, proposing legislation called the Save Our Stages Act. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said that the aid was included in the final agreement. Great news. Great news to hear for these type of groups, movie theaters and entertainment groups. As said from the Last Hill article, the text of the legislation has not yet been released. The House is expected to move on the bill on Monday, and the Senate will follow not long after that, which I was not aware of. I totally thought that the Senate has already kind of gone through this. Let's see. Pelosi and Schumer also said that the relief bill will include provisions so that a wider scope of newspapers, TV stations, and radio stations will be eligible for Paycheck Protection Program loans. I wish I knew more about that stuff. But a number of media outlets did not qualify because they are part of larger media companies. Look, it's the smaller businesses that are getting crushed, so it's hard to really complain about that stuff. The Paycheck Protection, meanwhile, will be replenished with an additional $284 billion for first and second loans, which will be forgivable if recipients meet a set of requirements for how the money is spent. Dozens of producers, law firms, publicity shops, post-production houses, and other entertainment firms received loans in the first round last spring. Also, in addition to funding for vaccine distribution, other elements of the relief package includes the direct payment stuff. Interesting, though, according to Deadline, those who make about $99,000 would not be eligible for this. Kind of makes sense, of $300 per week, on top of the typical level offered by states for a total of 11 additional weeks. Let's see. The legislation extends the program that was passed in March, when a wider scope of workers was eligible, including freelancers, gig workers, and independent contractors. That was set to expire at the end of this year, so only in a few days. Rent payment assistance, this also includes. It set aside $25 billion for families to help pay rent and extend a moratorium. And broadband access, it provides $7 billion to increase broadband access, I guess, of the internet and stuff like that. Again, all great news. Gives some detail of what this is all about in terms of the entertainment aspect of things. The entertainment industry has been getting absolutely clobbered throughout this pandemic. They're the least essential, pretty much, so they're the ones who get clobbered the most. And it's hard to see like how some of these theaters, they're just in really rough shape. And I don't know how. I think one of them closed down here in Clovis, where I live, or Fresno/Clovis, California. And Roger Rocca is reportedly having a lot of trouble. They said it themselves over the news here. So it's really scary stuff to hear about, and I'm really glad people are getting something rather than absolutely nothing. And so people are getting help. Maybe it's not as much as all the entertainment industry needs. It's probably not, since people aren't even getting enough stuff for individual stimulus checks. Why would we get would they get enough? You know, why would entertainment industries get enough? So yeah, it's really unfortunate to hear about all these things going down. But fortunately, we're hearing some good things. Roger Rocca's here in Fresno. They're not gone or anything. You know, I don't hear a lot about, except for I believe one theater group, but I don't really know much about it at the moment. But you hear a lot about that stuff. So yeah, it's unfortunate to hear about. But also, you we are getting movies and TV shows that are running now according to coronavirus guidelines of being in quarantine and stuff. So that's awesome to see. But that's at the highest levels of entertainment, like at the most with the most elite companies that are able to afford these type of resources in order to film. And that stuff is costing them money. It's a mess. This whole thing about the pandemic is the mess. F 2020. So yeah, that's my overall point about this. But I'm just glad that the entertainment industry got something in this relief deal because they desperately need it as well, just like how everything else desperately needs relief, it seems like at the moment. Except for Fortune 500 companies with CEOs and stuff. They're fine. They're fine. Alrighty, guys, what did you guys think about this video? What do you think about all this fallout with this coronavirus aid that's finally coming out today? Are you guys relieved? Are you guys upset about it? Let me know your full thoughts down in the comments below, and we could have a full civil discussion about it, about what you think. So please don't be afraid to let me know your full thoughts down below, and just you know, we can be courteous and all that, and have a great discussion about it. So go ahead and leave your thoughts down below. Also, go ahead and like and subscribe to this video, or subscribe to this channel at Ben Burnside, where you can watch a bunch of other reactions and YouTube videos of different topics. So go ahead and check that out when you get the chance. You can check it out on YouTube at any time. So go ahead and let me know your thoughts on the channel. Alrighty, guys, I'll catch you on the Burnside. You have a great day, and have a great rest of your Sunday. And I will see you guys in the next video to talk about this. So, peace.